Starting recording. So recording's now. Okay. Which of these games do you want to just start with as we talk?
Could we start with the Kaisa?
All right, let's do it. Let us do it up. All right. So what's going on?
So I see that they have Vayne, Nami, and I think that at level 2 we can just kill one of them or both. So I was also looking out for pressure from Rammus because he obviously at like level 2 or 3 he could just roll into my lane. But I think at level 2 we just win. So I was trying to push for a level 2, but not too hard because I didn't want it to go to their turret.
Interesting. Interesting. So if we have already lost lane, why is that?
If we already lost,
Right.
I think because
Well, maybe not lost, but losing currently, like right here.
because of the poke from Nami, and we're not level 2 yet.
Right. We're trying to do something that's kind of playing against our matchup, right? Like for example, it seems like it's not a big deal. We didn't die or anything like that. We didn't die to a gank or anything catastrophic happened, but we're already missing a potion somehow, for example, right? And what do we get out of it? I don't think we really got enough compensation out of it, right? Do you think?
I think maybe I used my potion too early.
Right. So what's the idea behind this laning phase? Besides like, oh, we can do something level 2, but I actually think you can't do something level 2, right? Well, actually, apparently you can. Apparently you can. That was a fat W. That was really good. But what level do you usually want to wait for when you have Alistar?
Probably 3.
Right, because level 2, they're just gonna walk away. I think in this picture, he's face tanking minions. So you guys definitely found something winning here. But yeah, usually you want to wait for level 3. So what do you want to do before? What do they want to do as you're trying to get to level 3 or level 2? I guess.
Probably just poke because they have Nami.
Right, but instead of poking, poking kind of implies you can't do anything about it, right? So when we see this picture and you hit her, is this poke or what else is this?
It's trading.
Right, we're not supposed to trade really, unless you really wanted level 2, which I guess you could say is acceptable. But okay, I mean, the reason why I'm kind of like what's it called? Nitpicking this is because this is like super common in terms of how many times have you like walked up to just try and hit them just because they're in range?
Quite a few times.
Right, because that's like the kind of instinct every AD carry player has almost, I think, right? That's actually the problem I used to have before I figured out what I'm supposed to do in lane. And every time you do that, you're gonna get punished, like here, right?
Yeah.
Every time, like when I say every time, it's not like half the time. It's actually like every time because their instinct is to hit back, right? So how do we make sure that doesn't happen? What do you think?
Take smart trades where they're in our minion wave and take damage from the minions, or just wait to all in.
Right, exactly. So, might have a habit of doing that, which hasn't really been a problem yet, but it could be. Okay, this is fine. You guys are okay. Oh, interesting. I think you guys can just walk away here, right? Hopefully,
No, I
we
think
have to heal.
Oh wait, no, he doesn't.
We're good, right? So, how do we know we're okay here? Maybe, usually okay here.
They weren't close enough to follow up soon enough.
Agreed. And another reason.
I don't know. They have I don't think she landed her bubble. Did she land her bubble?
No. She didn't even cast it. But even if she had bubble, Alistar can't get hit by it. Yeah, you have flash, so that's how you know you're okay. So, but sure. So far laning's good, right? Although we can't really see the CS score, I assume that it's relatively normal.
I think later on I pull up the I'll tab like here and there.
Okay. So this is really awkward. You guys are dying.
Yeah, he dies right here.
Can we save this? Probably not, huh?
Nah, but
So what happened here?
He dies too, actually.
What do you think happens here?
We were. So this was my mistake. I went up for the ward,
Right, but how do you know it's a mistake before you do it, right?
Because we knew that Remus was bot side.
Right, but let's say Ramus comes back to gank you guys and you get away. Is this worth?
Not really. I think we just lose sums either way.
I would say, you know, if he's wasting his time ganking, it could be considered worth, right?
Yeah.
But the reason why you guys can't get away is because what do you think?
That I think we okay. So I think I could have. I think I could have gotten away. I think since he went to headbutt like that. Maybe he comboed wrong and Remus got the knock up on him, which stopped his combo.
Right, we'll say
And
that
they were too close. We got cut off too.
it's like a the way we kind of figure out if you can push without dying is do you have flash, right? So you have flash.
Yeah.
So far so good. And then the second part is how strong is their ganking the enemy ganker and the enemy assist. I mean the jungler's gank ability and the enemy laning's like ability to assist the gank. So what I mean by that is, you know, if they taunt, is there any follow up CC or any follow up damage or anything like that, right? So let's say Remus is really strong ganking, right? Because he just point and click, seems good. And then Nami and Vayne can follow up really well because their CC is pretty much guaranteed, right? Even though she doesn't have bubble for some reason, right? She should have bubble. So you guys are just dying.
Not bubbling.
Basically, in this kind of lane, you don't want to push, right?
Okay.
And the reason being is because even with flash up, you're gonna die, right? Like let's go back to this picture. I think Alistar should actually die here, but they were actually really far away. So, but this is that was like a condemn there, right here, into bubble, right?
Yeah.
And if they have ignite, there's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah, I don't know why she. Okay, so that's another thing. She went exhaust, which I thought was really weird.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Don't do that. Always ask your support to take ignite, basically.
Dude, I had a game not too long ago where I had a Tark and he had like an 80-something% win loss. I told him to take ignite. He's like, I have a 80-something% win loss with exhaust, but okay. I'm like, that doesn't make it good.
It's like, I mean, uh, I mean, if they have found some kind of success with it for some logical reason, I mean, it can be good, right? It's just, I think most of the time in solo queue, exhaust is much harder than using ignite. Like using exhaust correctly, right? Using ignite correctly is just like, oh, they're dying, press ignite on them, they're dying more, right?
Yeah,
So
much.
it's pretty easy. So yeah, basically the ideas we're seeing is kind of there are a few things here. So the reason why we die in this gank is you should know that when you are getting ganked or when you don't know where the jungler is, you don't want to push. Or let's say if you have to push, then you don't want to walk up, right? So this is kind of like a we walked up, for example, right?
Yeah, that was my bad.
And if you're thinking something like our jungle is going to counter gank, which is usually winning, right? Jungle counter ganking is winning. Why is this counter gank not winning?
Because Remus has more CC than Kane does, and Kane has weird follow up. Also, Alistar's health bar is almost half.
Right. I would say the biggest reason that Kane's just useless, right? Giga useless, right? In this counter gank, right? If this is Elise, definitely winnable. This is Hacker. It doesn't matter what it is. If he can do something, he can win. But Kane just wants to farm and then get his like his different forms or whatever. So he's not gonna do anything, right? This is similar to Master Yi. He could be Master Yi, right? In a sense. So yeah, it doesn't work. That doesn't work. It's very much the idea of laning is very much the idea of are you playing the matchup out right, and are you pushing / making sure you're not pushing, right?
Yeah.
So sure, push this out and then base. Oh, this is really awkward, but okay, I think you just have to leave. The reason why we're saying it's awkward is, you know, if they freeze that, you guys are really upset. But
yeah, that was a bad push.
I mean, you don't really have a choice there, right? Let's go back. You don't really have a choice here, right? Because if you don't push, you lose minions, and if you do push, they might freeze and you lose minions. So you might as well push, right? You might as well push this in. You don't really have any options. It's because of what happened earlier is why this is happening, right?
Yeah. I think there's actually a gank where we get ganked earlier, or I mean later, and Kane and Vel'Koz die bot and Alistar.
Mm.
If if I remember correctly.
I'm sure we'll see it. Yeah, let's take a look at this. And the reason why we keep talking about it is because it keeps happening, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on
walk
here?
up.
The all the walk up and hit up, right? All right, so at this rank, if you can do this thing, you will win or go even in lane every game. I promise you. Okay, or at least in the games where your support doesn't in, right?
So if I just like don't walk up.
No. If you can play the matchup correctly, if you have Nami, and they have like Janna, you walk up, right? Why?
Because Nami can heal and she has better poke. Or yeah, I think she has better poke than Janna. Plus Nami counters Janna.
It's more of a you want to be more general than that. So let's say so the system I came up with. Have you seen my other coaching videos? Do you know what I'm talking
I
about?
have seen some, yes, but I don't know.
All right. So when I discuss laning ideas, I try and categorize bot laners into 4 categories, right? So the most common one is trade, and the most intuitive, I guess, are trade and all in, right? They're pretty self-explanatory. Let's say, what does Nami want to do? She wants to trade, right?
Yeah.
So does Alistar want to do? He wants to all in. So you look at supports first because they're the most important for bot lane. Because Vayne can all in or whatever, but if you're against an Alistar, you're losing, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is Nami wants to trade and Alistar wants to all in, right? This is your simple explanation that works every time. So what happens when you trade and Nami wants to trade?
You lose.
All right, how many times do you lose out of 100?
Pretty much 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, almost like 95 times out of 100, essentially, right? And what happens if Nami tries to all in against an Alistar?
Well, bad things for them.
Right, they're gonna lose 95% of the time, right? So the reason why this is so important is because if you can figure this out, or not figure this out, but rather keep this in your mind as you're laning before the lane starts, this will never happen to you, right? So
basically, what I want to do is just like farm up and wait for the all-in.
Yes, right. Or let's say if your support can't find the all-in, right, you're just trying to farm. The advanced step, the next step is set up the wave in such a way that he can all-in.
Okay.
Right. So what does that look like in terms of wave management? Where do you want the what lane to be? Where's the best place for Alistar to all-in?
Probably near our turret.
Right. I would say near, but not under tower. Right.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the lane or on your side, we would say is ideal. Right.
Yeah.
So that's like the basic idea. And you can delve into it more, like, oh, why do we push when we have Alistar so we can go mid, right? Stuff like that. But this is the basic idea, right? Is Nami wants to trade, Alistar wants to all in. If you're trading, you're making a mistake, right? And when do you trade if they have Nami? When she's face tanking minions or towers or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's a big problem because not only is it a bad habit, but the result of doing it in game is, if you all in, what happens now?
We pretty much lose.
All right, you have no HP, so how do you do this? All right, if they have Ignite, she can actually solo you. This is a season where supports can actually just kill you, right? Like let's roll back a few patches. They're literally one-shotting you when you have full HP. So if you have less than full HP, you're definitely dying, right? But she doesn't have Ignite, so I guess we're happy. But that's like the idea, right? You get punished every time you play outside of the matchup. That's what I call playing outside the matchup. You're doing something that your matchup says that isn't part of your matchup, right? Your win condition is let's all in. You do something other than that, that's playing outside your matchup. It's not necessarily bad, right? Let's say, for example, Vayne is going for a last hit, you hit her for free. Is that playing outside your matchup?
No, but the Nami would make it harder.
Well, it is playing outside your matchup, right? Because you're not trying to trade. But why is it good sometimes? Why can it be good?
It can be good when they don't have a Nami.
No. Like, even if they have a Nami.
You're pressuring her.
Right. If she doesn't expect it, you might get to hit them for free. But the reason why we don't kind of tell people to work on that is because you're gonna die. It's more likely you're gonna die than for you to be successful, right? In that case, that's like advanced. That's like past the foundation. That's like past the basics. So like, if you ever do you watch tennis at all, or do you know anything about tennis?
Mm-mm.
So let's see.
I know a little bit about tennis, but
okay, like backhand and forehand, right?
Yeah.
So most people's backhands are really poor. So a lot of like beginners would be like, oh, I'm gonna hit it to his forehand a bunch to trick him, and then slam it to his backhand, and then I'm gonna win because he has to hit his backhand or something, right? Right? That makes sense. Logically, it makes sense. That's what trying to hit them on a last hit is, right? You're trying to force them to lose in a way. You know what happens 9 times out of 10? They don't get it over the net, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what this is we're not getting it over the net because we're playing outside our matchup, right? That's like the big idea that we're seeing in lane at least. But yeah, notice how what did we just watch? What did we just see here?
Well, Vayne, I think, walked up too far. Then he got a combo on both Nami and Vayne. So then we're just winning right there.
Right. More basic terms is, are we all inning? Yes. Automatically winning, right? So that's the idea, right? And the whole, like literally this whole lane phase any lane phase can be explained in terms of matchup. At least below the professional level, right? Is did you all in? And your every time you all in, you won, right? For example, anytime you traded, you lost, right?
Yeah.
So that's the big idea. You might actually kill this guy. One more hit. You can flash for this. Oh, clean. All right, push this out. But yeah, any questions so far on our discussion of laning or anything else?
No, actually, I never really noticed that I would I would notice like, oh, I'm getting poked down. That's really bad. But I never took into consideration, oh, it's because I'm being stupid and just walking up.
Yeah, actually, that was me too. Honestly, like I could not figure this out until I went to Korea, and in Korea they punish you for literally everything. So that's kind of how you figure things out. Is you get hit by it like a million times in a row, and you're like, oh, what's going on here, right? So the reason why I'm pausing here is, well, can you guess?
I shouldn't be walking up like that. I should be waiting for it to hit the tower.
Right. But more basic terms in terms of matchup. Even if there are no minions, you shouldn't do this. Why?
Because Alistar is too far away. Nami's closer.
Right. More basic than that, though. More general than that. Think matchup based, right? What does our matchup say we want to do?
We want to all in, and
what are we? Yeah. What are we doing right now?
We're about to get poked.
We're trading. Yeah. Poke is like you can't respond. In my eyes, poke is more easily recognizable or easily defined when literally cannot respond, literally cannot hit back. So Zyra Q or Brand W or Xerath, right? That's pretty cancer, right? Xerath.
Yeah.
Ziggs, anything like that, literally cannot respond. Here, can you respond? Can you hit back?
Yeah, so that's trading.
Yeah, that's trading, right? So what are we doing? We're trading. Do we lose trades? Yes. So we lost. We're losing trades. Honestly, she could have done some crazy stuff like tumble in and then condemn Alistar in way. We're definitely losing, right? So that's like the big idea is you want to make sure your mindset is don't trade, and then you wait for an all in or you set up an all in somehow, right? That's all you should be thinking in this lane. If the roles are reversed, you're thinking the opposite. Let's trade as much as possible. Don't get all in.
Okay.
Right, we're gonna tumble in and condemn Alistar away, and then we're trading, right? So that's the idea. You want to play strictly within your matchup until if you can play inside your matchup like perfectly, then you can start working on other things, right? But honestly, at that point, you're probably winning every single lane phase, so you don't need to work on laning. Let's see what's going on here. All right, what's the idea here? What are we doing here?
So we're just farming for right now. Trying. I don't know why I started pushing it. I should keep it where it was so that we can have an easier time all-inning them.
Right. So that's exactly what I was gonna bring up. Is you need a reason to do something. So if you're hitting minions, right? What's the reasoning? If you're pushing, what's the reasoning? If you're just last hitting, well, I mean, you just want CS, right? But the reasoning behind hitting this would be maybe something like, if Vayne wants to push, we're gonna match her so that the lane can stay in the middle. But you start over pushing, so I'm like, oh, I don't know what you're thinking here, right?
Yeah, I was just autopilot, which is bad.
Right. When in doubt, if you don't know what to do, just last hit until you figure out what to do, right? Because, is this picture similar to what we saw earlier?
Yeah, it's an easy gank for Rammus.
It's the exact same thing, right? We know that Rammus gank is coming. Their gank assist is so strong that even if you have flash, you're dying. Right. Let's say, let me throw an example. Alistar is going to ulti and then he's gonna get run down by Vayne Nami, even if he flashes. Right. That's pretty common, I would say. So yeah, or in this picture, you're the one getting run down. That could be awkward, but you need to be super wary of that, I would say. And the reason why, the reason why it's kind of interesting is because usually you're gonna be okay doing this. If their jungle, it doesn't have strong gank presence, right? If it's like Rengar, Kha'Zix, whatever, you should be okay doing this. But because it's Remis, it might not be okay. Same thing here. In terms of what are we trying to do with wave management? If we're just trying to push it out, sure, I think that's fine. But
yeah, I think right here I was trying to push it out so that it can reset. I didn't want it to be right there. This is
it's pretty
really
spooky. Right.
Especially
So,
like Vel'Koz and Kane would roam over, but they didn't do it.
well, it's the exact same kind of thing that we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
In terms of not really, you don't really want to walk up and you're dying even if you run away when they come. So walking into them when they're coming is definitely dying. So let's talk about this, because this is stuff that kind of can snowball quickly out of control, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on in this picture? Why does this always lose? What do you think?
Because we're on their on their territory, and he has a big.
That's not necessarily the reason why this is always losing.
They have the numbers advantage.
I would say that Vel'Koz and Kane are close enough to do something. They're fighting Ari, so that's not quite right either.
I don't know. He was. I don't know. Maybe our positioning was bad.
Right, in the sense that there's on the onset, you guys are just there's no way to win. Right, in terms of when you want to fight in League, when do you want to fight? When you can't lose, basically. Yeah. Right. Let's say, for example, you guys are just A-ramming mid. Lux hits a bind on their AD carry. You fight because there's no way you guys can lose, right? But before you see that, you don't fight, right? That's kind of the primal idea is you never want to take a fight that doesn't make sense, right? So do we have any advantages here? What do you think?
Not really.
I don't think so, right? Advantages like 5v4, or we have some kind of scaling advantage, or we have some kind of matchup advantage. We don't really have anything going for us here, right? So then that tells us this is either even or losing, or it's definitely not winning though, right? Is the problem is that this is never gonna work, right? So how do we what should we do instead? Because walking up here is like looking for a fight because you don't know where Rammus is, right?
Yeah.
So what should you do instead?
I think after we pushed it out, because I went for a deep ward, which is pretty bad. I think we should have maybe just backed.
Right, you can just honestly wait in the bush. Maybe they face check. That's your free all in, right? Or maybe you can hide under the tower. Or if you have an item, you should base, right? But this is like. Usually you can be okay doing this, but because of the way that their jungler works, like how strong their jungler is, and do you have flash or not is relevant, but this is also after first base, so man advantage matters a lot more, right? It's just it doesn't make sense, right? Yes, this is actually good that you're warding after you push, but you need to ask yourself, can they stop me if you go to ward? Right, I think the idea is you need to ask yourself, can we win if the jungler comes? I think you kind of did not answer that question both times you went to ward, right? Or both times you went to walk into the river and the jungler came, right?
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't like. I actively ask myself questions, but I guess not. I don't ask myself stuff like that, which is pretty bad.
Right, in lane, it's all about if the jungler comes, are we okay? Right, is the idea. Okay, let's talk about this actually. This is different than what we've been discussing. What do you want to do here?
So I think maybe I should have just backed right here because the wave is pushing towards me.
This is exactly what I think. So what happened?
I ended up pushing it out because I saw that all three of them were in the river. I think they were Were they fighting my team? No, no. They were. We had it worded, so I was like, okay, I can push this until I see them start to roam down to me. Vayne is dead.
Okay. And then do we say that if you push this out, is that better than basing? I would say sure, right?
Yeah.
We could say it's equal or better, maybe. Either way is winning. And then the next question is, if I do this thing, can they stop me? So what do you think?
I think they can, but I saw Ramus through because we since I had that word on his blue buff, I think I see him go up to blue. So I was like, okay, he's not trying to threaten me for, he's not trying to come down to me. And I see Ari starting to go back to mid, so I was like, all right, this is fine.
I mean, it looks like that, right? But what's to stop them from just turning around?
That would be the point. I just leave, but then that would become a losing situation because I wouldn't get the wave pushed in time.
Right. It's kind of I mean, we see him, so it seems like it's working, but we actually, what part of our plan did this mess up? Right. What part of it did we not were we incorrect about?
Not trading.
Well, you said you wanted to push it into tower, right?
Yeah, well, we don't. That's gonna mess up our all-in.
No. Like, you thought you could push it into tower, right?
Yeah.
So why didn't it work? Because you couldn't actually do it.
Stopped. Yeah.
Right. So it's actually impossible. So this is kind of the idea that you wanted to do something, but it actually doesn't exist. Right. Like, let's say, for example, this is a classic one. Have you ever played Vayne and tried to push a wave in? It never works, right? Because you can't fucking push, right? So this is the idea that, like, if you want to do something, I mean, now you know that you can't push this in time, right? But it's kind of like the idea that you play Kai'Sa a bunch of times and you say, "Oh, can I push this in?" And then I guess the answer is no, right? It doesn't work that way. You would rather have based and let it freeze to deny minions. But
I definitely should have. That was like another autopilot moment.
I think it's good to test because I wasn't sure either. Now I know. It's not a thing. You would rather base because that always works. For example, Vayne was already dead, so
this is bad again. I'm pushing again.
No, I would say it's only if it's bad, it's only because you don't know why it's good, right? So what's the idea behind this?
So I think what I was thinking right here is like, oh, I see Kane fighting Ari. Maybe I should push in Rome. See?
Right. So I would say this is what I would do. Right.
Yeah.
So you need the thing about kind of making decisions is we don't care if it's the optimal decision. We just care if you had good logical reasoning behind it, right?
Yeah.
So here you push because you guys can fight for Scuttle, right? And then you see Ramus top, so you can just do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we're going for a dive. This better work.
Yeah, I thought no, it does. I think this dive works. Cause
this is real close. Ari is on the way.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. This is not good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. What's going on here?
I think he went too early.
What's going on here that is part of our decision making. We don't care what our team does, right? It's basically anything that happens in game is a situation, and how we react to that situation is what we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
So yes, he kind of is like dying for free. So what should we do?
Should we just hit the turret or back off?
Right. You should not hope this. You don't want to hope this, right? Because how do we know this is losing 100 times out of 100? Or it should be losing 100 times out of 100?
Because he went too early, and then Ari's roaming down when Belkaz is going up.
Right. So it looks like it's a 3v3, and you guys are losing already.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't want to hope this, right? So we can watch this if we want, but I don't think there's any way you guys can get something out of this, right? So let's figure out what's going on here. So, expected result? Yes or no?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Expected result 100 is gonna happen every time, right?
I think Belkaz dies like directly after too.
Right. So what's the habit here that what do you think? How do we know before this happens that we shouldn't help this guy?
Because he's already half health before we even get there.
Right. So you see something really bad happen. We don't want this anymore. Or On a different level, you could say something like, how does this work? It doesn't work because Ari's coming down, right? Something like that. But this is actually, most players do this, is they try and help no matter what,
Yeah, that's an
right?
issue.
You're not when do you help?
When it's winning.
Okay, true. Or I would say also if you can actually do something. Right. So yeah, I would say winning is probably the safest option. Like you hope when it's winning to make it winning harder, right? But what about if it's 3v4 in the river and if you go it's 4v4, should you help?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
If it's 3v4 in the river, right? Everyone's fighting, should you go help?
I think just to secure maybe, but if it's a 3v4 and I already know that's winning, I should just push out and get damage on the turret.
Right. So helping is definitely an option, right? Because if you show up, it'll be 4v4. You guys can win, or you guys can at least not lose. And then what if it's 2v4? Should you help that?
No.
Yeah. Even if you go, it's still losing, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. Is even if we go here, it's still losing. Even though it wasn't a 2v4, it was this guy already lost all his health. We basically want to not do this anymore, right?
So do we just back off or do we pressure tower?
Right. You can hit tower. I don't see why not. And then when they start coming for you, you run. Right. Or maybe you can try and save Kane as he's running away, within reason, of course. Right. But you definitely don't want to continue this fight, which is what we're doing.
Okay.
Right. And then, I think back here we have kind of a same bad habit of we just come back to the lane and they're just going to hit us. Right.
Yeah.
So what's the problem here?
I should have just backed, probably.
But how do we know beforehand? Wait, what the hell? This works?
Yeah, because I saw Ramus was there, so I was like, oh, that's bad. So I was like,
Right. I would say the only reason this works is because why?
because Vel'Koz got his poke off. Vel'Koz.
Right. So this is not something I would definitely say this is definitely not good. Right. Most of the time you're losing this. Like
Yeah.
bam, you stop here, oh we're losing, and you lose dragon, for example, right? So what's the idea here that tells us this is always bad?
I'm 1v2.
Yes, that's it. You stop there. It's 1v2. You guys are losing. You're losing unless you calculate a way to win. Like you can one-shot someone or something. I don't know. You have to figure out a way to win 1v2. Otherwise, you should stay under tower, right? I don't know. This is like a common one where it's 1v2. You should just wait until your Alistar's back, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem, is that there's no way you can win if you do 1v2, right? So I think we're seeing a lot of different ideas being thrown around in your gameplay, but the kind of overarching idea that I'm seeing is consistency in terms of what you're doing, right? Like let's say, for example, how do we build consistency in lane? Don't play outside your matchup, right? How do we build consistency in fights? Don't help a losing fight, right? Stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Figuring out what actually. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't mean to throw my W down. What's weird is we still win this, actually.
Well, it's not weird, right? Why is it weird?
It's weird because I missed everything, and I was in the range, so I misclicked a bunch too, which is why I thought like, oh, that's weird that we won that still. And
well, after today's discussion on matchup, how would you be able to explain this?
well, we won because we have a better all-in, but I just thought it was weird because I got hit by everything and I missed my W, and I got exhausted on my Q.
Right. It was close because you got hit by it, because you missed, right? But if you didn't miss, there's 100% winning, right? Even though Vayne and Nami's all-in got better, it's still winning for you guys, I would say, right? Especially when you have press the attack. That's pretty spicy. Oh my, another one. You got him too.
Yeah.
You can flash for this. Oh, you don't have flash.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all about, you missed everything, but your matchup advantage and your item advantage tells you that you're good to go. 9 times out of 10, you're winning, right? Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, we shouldn't have stayed.
So I think we're seeing like a habit of, you want to do something that is like pushing or something, and then you don't think about how they can stop you, I think is the problem, right?
Yeah.
Is, that maybe you say, oh, I want to push, or I want to hit tower or something like that. The first thing you should like think about next is, who's coming down to stop me, and then you can decide whether or not you do that thing, right? Because I think this is like a like say for example you want to push the bot lane wave, right? And then you say, can anyone stop me? Yes, Rammus Nami can. So you don't do it. Or let's say you go back bot and you say, I want to push this out, but my Alistar is dead. Can they stop me? Yes. So you're not supposed to do it, right? That's kind of like the big idea that we're seeing here is you're trying to do something, but they just like, the next, the most natural thing for them to do is just come fight you. So, and you always lose that, essentially, right? When you put yourself in these positions. So, okay, what is this Rammus doing? Wait.
Yeah, I have no idea. That's why I was like, what is he doing? What's the punishment for this?
So is he doing something that we're doing? Is he doing something that you're doing?
He literally did what I did.
Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly the same thing. So you can see that at this rank, if you can just punish this and not get punished, you just like win, right?
Yeah.
That's like a common theme along this rank is a lot of people try and do something that doesn't exist. It's like literally impossible. It doesn't work 9 times out of 10, which is why it's bad. I don't know, you're just dying, right? So does not make sense. All right, so you're pushing mid here, right? Oh, okay, I think going bot here is fine. Oh, never mind, Vel'Koz went bot, so push mid, sure. Pause. What are we doing here?
I don't think we can all in them under tower, or can we?
Agreed, right? It's not clear to me that you're winning, so what should you do? Because you're kind of this is getting kind of dicey, right?
Yeah. I think we should just back off here.
Right. So let's talk about this. It's the same thing. I promise you. It's all like it seems like we're talking about a bunch of different mistakes, but most of them come from this one idea that you try and do something that will never work, right? So all we have to do is fix that, give you something else to do that always works, and you will be in a much better spot, right? When you take your different options, when you're considering your different options of what to do, right? So in this picture, you wanted to hit tower, right? Or you wanted to fight them or whatever. How do you know that this doesn't work? Or how do I know that this doesn't work 9 times out of 10?
Because they have we're closer to their turret.
True.
Nami, I think right here, Ari goes in for. I think she lands. No, what happened? I think Alistar goes in for the all-in.
Just like more general, like how do we know before this fight starts? This is usually not going to be good. You usually cannot get something out of doing this. 9 times out of 10.
We don't have sums.
Okay, even if you have sums, it doesn't work.
I don't know.
What can you get from doing this? This is the question, right? So what can you get from doing this?
Not much. I think either way they have a lot of wave clear, so we can't really get any pressure on the tower.
Right. You can't. I don't know what you're supposed to get out of doing this. This is how we know this doesn't work, right? Similar to actually, yeah, I think this is a good example. Basically, we can't do anything. We're not the average case of trying to hit tower is you don't get anything, right? So what should you do? What's something that will always be good? What do you think?
Farming. I went to farm jungle creeps.
Well, you already pushed mid. This is what we consider farming, right? You already pushed mid, which is really good, right? This is we know this is always going to be good if you can do it. What else is something that's always good?
Maybe I could have roamed or back or get
right. Right, get vision, right? You know that's always good. You can run into the river and ward for Rift Herald, for example. You come back, push mid again, and then your jungler's soloing Rift Herald. How do they stop you?
They really can't.
Right, it's really hard, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I was actually thinking about doing Rift Herald in the moment after we pushed, but Kane was bot, so I was like, that's kind of awkward if Rammus just runs over. I don't think we can take that fast enough, and we just
right, of course, right. In this picture, you're definitely not doing it, but you definitely want to ward it. Yeah. Right? If they're on it, you want to mess them up, right? You want to see if you can fight them off it, right? Stuff like that. Well, let's say Rammus is dead, so you can ward his camps. So now you know where Rammus is at all times, right? But that's the thing is that if you do that, you know that always works because why? Ari is busy clearing mid.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why it's always, I mean, that's like you always want to do something that's good in League. That's kind of how you climb. Is always doing something that's consistently good, right? In this case, if you just run mid here, if they're bronze, you're gonna kill them, right?
Yeah.
if they're challenger, you're dying. So it doesn't make sense. But let's say they could be bronze or challenger. You run into their jungle and ward, they can't stop you no matter what rank they're at. Right? That's kind of what we're looking for. Is it's always gonna be good. Whoops! Turn on the sound real quick. Whoops. Yeah, that's the. Does that make sense? Is that like does that make in terms of making sure we're always doing something good?
Yeah. By the way, I
Oh
was
no.
tapped right there. I backed on them.
That was tragic. Right, but notice how like random things happen because of this, right? Like, oh, Alistair's dead and we base alone. I don't know. It's like weird things are happening, right? Because we tried something that pretty much never works, and it's kind of the end result is that we're gonna lose something off it, right? Oh, where are we going? Hold up. What's going on here?
I don't know. I think I should have went mid.
Agreed. Why should you go mid here?
Because the wave was pushing to our tower, and
Right.
Vel'Koz was already bought.
Right. Exactly. You want to push mid. You want to clear. So the idea behind the mid game is you want to make as much money as possible, right? So how do you do that? You clear and push waves, right? So your main goal is clear and push waves. I think you lost the wave there, which is really awkward, right?
Yeah, that's really.
So in this picture, same thing. You don't want to. Oh, actually, I think you're trying to help them fight. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was just hovering in case they tried to all-in us.
Right. Oh God, she's 3 levels up because of that now. Oh no. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, this is a 5v5. Seems good. Okay. Can't really see what's going on, but we can help this. Unless it's disaster. You just
I think. Oh no. Yeah.
I think this is less of a we don't want to worry about this, honestly, compared to other stuff. Because I think you should come to help, but the way you helped was probably not the best, right? I think the other stuff is more important than this right now. Right. So the idea here is don't focus on this too much, but the idea here is, how do you help this?
Probably be in a position where I can kite out instead of just getting.
Right. This is right. Let's say this is a Camille. Would you walk up?
No.
Right. It's the same thing. It's a queen. Right. So in terms of you're trying to help, you should you basically want to be safe before you help. Right. So we're not in a good spot. So of course this is losing. Right. But honestly, this is not something we want to worry about just yet. I think the other things are more important because the other stuff we're doing before is like you put yourself in a spot where you literally cannot win. Right. This is more like at least we have the right idea. I think you should come and see if you can do something here. So we don't worry about this too much. It's just you should make sure that they can't go on you before you hit someone. Right.
Yeah. Should I have been behind? Like when I say behind Kane, should I have been more to the bot side so that I could just kite the Ari while he's fighting her?
Right, something like this. I would not walk up to them because how do you win that? I have no idea. So you want to go down the other way.
Okay.
Something like that. Let's see what's going on here. But yeah, basically, it's kind of notice how we were kind of doing good in lane, and then it feels like you can't do anything in the game, right? Right.
Yeah.
It's basically because of the we tried to do things that were actually do not work 9 times out of 10. So our impact on the game is kind of lowered because of that, right? It's like you actually can't do anything.
Yeah.
Your opportunities were used on stuff that doesn't work is the idea. Oh no, you don't want to help this fight.
Should I? So in the thing before when I was fighting Quinn and dodged her Q, should I have went harder on that? I stopped because I saw Nami. Should I have went harder on that? Cause
Wait, where is this? Down here?
yeah, right there, around
Let's
right
see.
there. So I hit her with the W. I don't have ult, but I dodge out the Q, and we get a lot of good poke. She already used her combo, but then we see Nami and I back off.
It's always better to back off than to go forward, right?
Yeah.
So how do you chase her? Right? Let's talk about this. We can talk about this. This is good. We got a good response. How do you chase her?
You don't. All
Right.
All-Star gets his combo back up, and he just used it.
All right, she walks away, and you literally cannot do anything. That's how you know you want to not keep going, right? This is good. You did good here, right? This is actually exactly what I want to see from your earlier ideas is making sure you don't do something that is impossible to work, right? Like chasing, I guess is like a really obvious one in League of Legends. Is a lot of times when you chase, there's no way for you to catch up, right? So here, this is a really good example of making sure you're not doing something that's impossible, right? Which is trying to keep going. It doesn't make sense, so that's good.
Okay.
It's good to not keep going because it's not possible, right? All right, let's see what's going on here. So here we're relatively safe.
Yeah.
Oh, what the heck?
I don't think I should have ulted there.
All right, I agree. Why is that?
I could have used the ult more defensively or to make a play later on instead. Like, actually, the ult wasn't even necessary. I could have just free hit Rammus without doing that.
Right, we would say something like the basic general idea is we didn't get enough value out of our ability. Right, you can get more value out of using your ulti than to just gap close someone who's pretty close by, I would say. Right, unless let's say he's like one hit from death, then it could be worth. Right, the value of your ulti would be higher in that case. But in this case, not so much, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't worry about that yet either, honestly. Like the other stuff is more important, I would say. This like basically the other stuff is kind of caused this game to snowball out of control, I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think if I didn't go for all that stupid stuff, I wouldn't have died as much, and it wouldn't have given them such an edge because I think I was like 3-0 in lane phase, even though I was making some stupid decisions that got my support killed.
Right, it's kind of the idea that everyone was even, and then we made a interesting decision to go for something deep, and then jungle mid support died, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, this is kind of awkward now. So I think the theme of this game is making sure that when you ask yourself, when you want to do something, what can they do to stop you? And if they can do something to stop you, don't do that thing.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because now this game is there's not really much you can do, right? So when we talk about things that can they stop you, it's more like how many people do they have? Is always the first one. So when you're going to ward, they have Rammus, so you can't do that, right? Or let's say the general rule in the mid game is hitting tower is always losing, is the general idea. So we would know that you're going walking up to try and hit mid tower, that's always losing, right? Let's see if we can see similar ideas in the next game, but that's kind of my initial impression so far. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I can't remember exactly what happened in this game. I think we were again like had kills up on them in lane phase, and then we just end up losing again, probably for the same exact reason.
Right. So it seems like do you usually go even / winning in laning?
Yeah.
Then I guess we don't really need to focus it on laning too much, right? But I guess like as an exercise for the future, what are you supposed to do in this lane? What do you think? What does Zilean want to do? And what does Sona want to do? Right, he wants to poke, right? Because you can't respond to Zilean bombs, essentially, right? And then what does Sona want to do?
She wants to poke as well and heal up.
Right, she wants to trade because you can hit back when she tries to hit you, right?
Yeah.
So far, all you did was poke, so you guys are winning, right?
Yeah.
Is the general idea. So far, so good. Let's fast forward. What the hell?
I think this is gonna look bad if it's exactly what I think. I think I miss heal right here.
No, you healed him.
You're
winning. This is winning. Oh, right. This is winning because he's just like running it down into your minions. So that's fine. You don't get this guy.
Go off on her, yeah.
Right. So you guys won that, right? So seems good. You want a base here, right?
Yeah, I'd try to push it with you.
So did you see Trundle?
No.
Right. So what's the habit here that we want you to form? You want to do this thing. So let's say you want to push. Can they stop me? Trundle's coming. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. If we don't have vision on Trundle, assume he's in our lane.
Right. That's the idea that I think the main habit we want you to work on is ask yourself, what do I want? Like before you do anything, you ask yourself, what do I want to do? And then the second part is, can they stop me? And then answer that question, right? Because this is kind of what's been happening the other game as well, right? In terms of they can do something about it, they come and then you die.
Yeah. And I have to work on playing to the matchup as well.
Right. I mean, if you're winning these lanes, I would say laning, you might not need to focus on laning as much, right? even if we're making mistakes, apparently they're making more mistakes. So we don't worry about it yet. It's the other stuff that would lose you games, I would say.
Okay.
But if there's a reason why you're losing lane, it would be for what we talked about, right? From
Yeah,
what we talked about.
I don't
Like
know
for
why
example.
she just, like walked up to me when I'd fourth shot.
Right, but did you win this? What do you think?
I think I won that trade, yeah, but
So how many
maybe
health are you gonna get back in the next 30 seconds?
not as much as her. So that's
She's gonna be full health in the next 30 seconds, right? So that's how we know, if they're laning proms, it's all matchup. Okay, it's either matchup or ganks. That's what I want you to think. If you watch your replays and you're like, oh, what's going on in laning? But I think overall, it seems like we're doing okay, right?
yeah.
It's just the mid game stuff that's most important. Oh, what the hell?
I think I could have went more ham here because I saw my team. I backed off right there.
I think that's fine as long as you continue this in a way. It's still winning, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's fine. You know that this is 4v3. We want to fight. Good to go.
Now do
We're
I
happy.
just click in the wave, get dragon in him?
Oh, can you do dragon? Let's see.
He's not able to get over from base fast enough, I don't think.
Can you guys do dragon? How can they stop you? So who's gonna come to stop you?
Well, Sona, Trundle. Yeah, Sona Trundle just died.
Mhm.
Echo's pushing out the lane. I think the only thing that can stop us is maybe Echo and Lucian if he roams over. But I think Tryndamere is there too.
Okay, so if Echo and Lucian come, can you do this? This is the process you should be thinking in game, right? So let's say you want to do dragon. Who's gonna come stop me? Echo or Lucian? Can we beat that?
We have the numbers advantage, but our health bars are a little bit lower.
Right. So you'd make a decision based on that, right? So I would say probably not, right? Because they walk up and then let's say Rammus turns around from the dragon, then he just walks away, and then we got a problem, right? Because now they're buying time for Sona and Trundle. But that's the kind of thought process we want you to go through, right? And the reason why it's important, even if you come to the wrong conclusion, is because when you die, you'll know what led up to that, right? You'll say, oh, now I know that you can't just randomly do dragon, or now I know that hitting tower is bad, right? Because it doesn't actually work, right? There's no way for it to work. So we would say, we guess that this doesn't work, 9 times out of 10, and you can see why, right? How fast are you guys killing this, and how low is Rammus getting?
He's getting pretty low. I think I switch off aggro here in a second because he's getting super low. I think we get the dragon, but Echo roams over.
Right. So based on my prediction, you guys definitely should have died, but I guess you guys get away with it. So sure.
But 9 times out of 10 it wouldn't work, right?
Maybe not 9 times, maybe like 50%, right? But the instant Echo starts moving, it's not good. So I would definitely not go for it, right?
Yeah. So essentially, even you don't even want to do 50-50 most of the time, right? You want to do something that's almost for sure.
Right. We only want to do things we know are good. And how do we know if it's good or not? We test, right? We say, oh, how do I know that even if you flash, you're dying to Rammus? Because I've tested that before, right? How many, I would say something like, oh, if we have flash, we can get away from a gank. And then I played against Kalista, Thresh, Elise. And then I was like, oh, even if you have flash, you're dying, right? Yeah. So I came up with the idea that if their jungle is strong and their gank assist is strong, you're dying even if you have flash, right? So that's kind of how you can come up with those ideas yourself. Is you say, I should be okay because of this, and then you see what happens, right? So
how would you play the lane into an Elise Kalista Thresh? Would you just play super passive at your turret?
Well, it depends on the matchup, right? Let's say I have a Nami, then we're going to trade as much as possible before Thresh is level 2 or something like that, right?
Before he can all in.
Right, exactly. Or let's say we have really weak jungle, really weak laners, then you probably want to dodge that game because you can't do anything, right? But that's the idea. Is based on your matchup. What do you logically want to do? Let's say you're playing Zillion and Jhin, right, against Thresh and Kalista. Then let's say level 1, you want to stay away from Thresh's Flay and see if you can trade with Kalista at 4 shot. And see if
you probably just want to look to trade as much as
Exactly. So oh, we are okay here. Nice. Because you have flash. Good stuff. Oh, they're fucking dead. We don't even have to watch this, right? Isn't this what we saw last game? Except the other direction.
Except that was you.
yeah, except that was you, right? So We don't even. That's the idea. Is the reason why the higher rank players are higher rank is not because their mechanics are better than yours. Your mechanics are fine, I would say, right? It's because they know what's good and what's not good, and they do what they think is good, and they avoid what they think is not good, right? So,
Yeah.
or they have systems in place to help them learn what's good and what's not good. I think here we just kind of try something, and then if it doesn't work, well, it sucks, and then that's it, right?
Yeah.
Or if it does work, then it's like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like, it doesn't help you form habits to tell you in the future, when these situations come up, what should you do? Like here, should you help this jungle fight? What do you think?
Probably not.
I would say you should go help if you saw Trundle top, right? Why?
Oh, well, because he can't help, but then Ramus isn't there either. It looks like if I go to help, it would be a 3v3.
Right. And we know that if your number matters when you go help a fight, you should go, right?
Yeah.
So you should go help, which is what you do. Good stuff. And then you win, right? So generally speaking, you're going even or you're okay. Oh my God, you guys almost got wrecked. You guys are still fine here, right? This is now 4v3. So all you have to do is ulti. Maybe. All you have to do is ulti. Oh, you ultied the wrong way. Well, that's kind of awkward, but we knew that you were winning and you won, right?
Yeah.
It's not about how many things did people land. It's did you set yourself in a way that you could not lose no matter what happened, which is what happened, right?
By the
Literally
way,
could not lose.
this is gonna make you blind here in a second because
Oh.
all right, so I play at Starbucks.
You're dead as fuck.
Yeah, so I play at Starbucks. I'm not allowed to play at home. I started lagging right there.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
right there, and it walked up to him, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm just
That's
dead.
tragic.
Yeah.
Oh no. All right, let's talk about this. So it's really much all about the same idea. Okay, so we have a few ideas to throw at you. Okay, this is gonna help increase your consistency in terms of doing good things only, right? So idea number 1 is when in doubt, all you care about is pushing waves and clearing waves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you have a choice, you clear and push waves. Okay, and then idea number 2 is when you say, I want to do something that isn't clearing or pushing waves, you ask yourself, can they stop me? Right? Is this going to be good or is this going to be bad? Right? So, when we run into the river, is this good or is this bad?
I think this is okay because I can maybe get a gank off on Darius or Ward. I think I was just going to Ward.
Right. You would say something like, this is 4v4. The first thing you think of is numbers if it's good or bad, right? So you say
they collapse on me how many people can be there, right?
Right. So this is 4v4 because Ramus is not here, Lucian is not here. You don't know what Trundle is, so it's 4v4, right? Is the idea. And then you say, okay, we can do this because we have equal numbers or more, right? And then here, what do you got to do here? What should you do here?
Should I go top?
Remember, our idea is all you care about is clearing and pushing minions.
So should I just go mid then?
Well, Tryndamere is already mid, right?
Or bot?
Yeah, you gotta go bot, right? So you guys are losing the game currently, is because you're losing all these minions bot, right?
Yeah.
And then second step is you do something other than push or clear. So here you should clear mid, right? You have to ask yourself, can they stop me? So can they stop you with numbers advantage?
Yes.
Right. Why?
Because we're being stupid and clearing Rift Herald.
Okay, there's a bigger reason than that. Well, I guess Tryndamere has TP, so he counts as a person, but you can't randomly start objectives, right? It doesn't work that way. You need a reason to be able to do this. Like, you can turn on them, or you're like so much stronger than them, you're gonna win, right? This is just automatically losing. I don't have to watch. You can fast forward, everyone's dying, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to watch, right? The general outcome is that this is not good, right? So that's the problem here is that you tend to do things that and from a macro standpoint will never work, right? So what should we do? Push and clear minions. That's literally all you should care about from now on, okay? And if you do anything other than that, you need to make sure that the numbers are in your favor or even.
Okay.
Right, that's the big idea. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter where you have to go. You need your own lane. And let's say you can't clear because you're afraid of like super fed Rengar. You need your support there or you don't push, right? Sometimes you have to give up farm because that's how it works. But That's the same thing, right? You wanna push bot. Rengar's gonna kill me. Don't do it, right? That's one that I think every ADC main has died to before. You wanna get this wave. You die to something. You're like, okay, that doesn't work.
And Kazakhs.
Okay, you guys are gonna kill them all if Zoe comes. So this is spicy. Because we know hitting tower is generally bad, but Zoe didn't come. They didn't really get anything. Sure. Okay, you guys go on top because you have more people, right? There's an obvious win. Wow. Monka S. Darius is scary, huh?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Actually killing everyone.
And
wow.
Then they roam up faster, so we just lose. They also have stronger people.
Right.
I was walking back to try to dodge this on, but I was just dead anyway.
I think this is just a product of what happened before. Same thing as last game is that the game gets so out of control that you guys are just losing across the board because of what we're trying to do, right? I think if you fix the stuff that happened earlier, all this would not happen essentially, right?
Yeah. And then I'd start winning more games.
Right, exactly. So here, all we care about is pushing this wave, right? Good. Fast forward. If you want to help this fight, you gotta look at the numbers. So when you look at this, what does this tell you?
It looks like we have the numbers here, or it's gonna be a 3v3.
You want to look again?
Well, they have Trundle, Sona, I think. Is Darius there?
Right. He's there, right? So he's here.
Yeah, I think since they're more fed, we just lose that. So
No. It's not about more fed. How many people can be at this fight? What do you think?
For us, Tryndamere has TP, but he's dead. They have a Lucian and an Echo. Echo can roam down easier than, say, Zoe or Trynd can right now because Trynd's dead and Zoe's in base.
Right, so the fast way to figure out if Echo can be here is he within one lane's distance? Is he one lane away? So yeah, he's one lane away. He can help. So that tells you that this is how many people on your team? 3, right? 4. How many people on their team?
So it'd be a 3v4.
Automatic losing. Fast forward, you guys fight this, everyone's dead, right? In a way. Oh, look at that. Zillion died. There's no way for you guys to win. So this is what I mean by we do things that doesn't work. Is that there's literally no way you guys can win. You play this fight 100 times. Does not work. Like 95 times. She even missed ulti. Holy shit, right? And it's still really bad, right? Zoe even got here in time, and it's still really bad, right?
So Zoe got caught out. Do I just leave him?
Yeah, you just run. You can't help. What are you supposed to do here? Like, let's watch what you did. Could you have done anything better here? Let's take a look.
No.
I don't think so.
See, right here, I started walking back. As soon as I saw Sona, I was like, okay, I'm walking back. I was
no. You don't even want to get here before you see Sona, right? Because this is the common problem: is you try and help, even though you know it's bad. Sona flashes over the wall, you get ultied.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't matter what happens here. You do not fight this unless you see something that can beat a 4v5. So let's say, for example, Zillion gets a 5-man bomb off. Right, like you've seen it before, right? 5-man Malphite ulti, 5-man Ori ulti. It has to be so good for you to turn around. Otherwise, you're not fighting this, right? That's the problem. Is that we try and do things that kind of it will literally never work, right? Like this fight could be interesting actually. This is 5v5, right? Seems good so far. If you're safe, you can have a good chance of winning this. Okay, we're not safe.
No.
Oh. So now you guys lose, but this is something else. This is team fighting, right? The idea behind team fighting is make sure you're safe before you hit the closest guy. But I think you want to do this other stuff first. But yeah, what do you think?
I shouldn't have walked up that far.
Right, you don't want to walk up to hit someone unless you know you're safe before you do it. Right, and then now it's like now it's kind of awkward because I think you guys are just losing when they get Baron. Oh, this is easy. Look at this.
And bomb, so that was good.
Right, this is so good. The and Sona is like not a person because she has no mana, right? So you win 5v4, right? So let's watch. You guys are winning 5v4, right? It doesn't matter how strong they are. 5v4, unless something crazy happens, the team with more people always wins, right? Look at this picture. How strong were they before this fight? Really strong. Did they lose? Yes. You had more people. So that's the big idea, is making sure you're only pushing and clearing And when you want to do something other than that, check numbers first on the map. Okay, that's like the big habit you need to work on right now, because that's like preventing you from getting better at anything else. Right? It's creating these impossible situations.
Okay, so I'll work on that, and then hopefully I'll be able to. Once I get better at this, I'll try to get another coaching session. And
All right. Let me show you some examples. Let's see. Let's take a look at what happened here. This is probably a good example. All right, let's fast forward. Show me the mid game. Okay, this is the mid game, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on here. Where should I go?
So that right there, there's no one on the map for them, so we don't know where anyone else is. So automatically, well, that looks like it's losing just because Kassadin's already half health. You can't actually re-engage that.
It's more like a
I would go top just to farm.
right. Remember, we want to clear and push waves until we know something is good otherwise. Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go clear top. And have you heard the idea of pushing it past the river, pushing a wave past the river?
Yeah, you shouldn't do that because it's risky.
Wait, you shouldn't do that. Wait, this is the second time I've heard that this week. So the idea behind pushing past the river is, let's say, okay, how does someone get 10 CS a minute? What do you think?
You push past river.
Yeah, you push past the river. I guess I kind of gave it away with the answer first, but yeah, you push past the river, right? Why is that?
You push past the river and you get jungle camp. You can get it doing jungle camps too.
No. You don't do any zero jungle camps. Okay. Literally zero. You can get 280 farm at 24 minutes without jungle camps.
Okay, so you just push past river.
Right. And why does that work? What do you think?
Because the waves are spawning to you faster than like, so if you were say on your side, you'd be getting less frequent CS because it takes the waves longer to get to you.
Not quite, but you have the idea of like the length it takes the wave to get there, whatever. But basically, it's going to slow push back towards you.
Yeah.
So if you look at that top picture, it's slow pushing back towards me. Right, so you won't lose minions. The idea is your minions are dying and their minions are not dying. And that's what you want for the mid game. So you can maximize your farm, right? So we set that up top in a way, right? So let's say this is 1730. Let's fast forward what's going on. And all right, before Lucian gets here, look at that. Look at the top wave right now, right? Is it pushing towards you?
Yes.
That means you're maximizing your CS because you're not losing any minions. Pushing towards them means you're losing minions. So this is why we push past the rivers, so we can set this up. And then you go back and you clear that. So let's go back and see what's going on. Yeah, that's why I say you want to focus on that only, because look at the CS difference, right?
Yeah.
It's already 22 and it's only we just started the mid game, right? This is like the idea you want to focus on because you know this always works. Always works, right? So always clear and push minions, right? Why are we so afraid here? What do you think? Why are we so afraid here? Even though we want to push.
Have any sight on anyone on the map, and we just saw them use the sight plant.
Right. It's the idea of you want to do something, you want to push this out. Who's gonna come stop you? Right. Is the idea. Right. All right. Sure. Fast forward. Same thing. We want to push mid. Right. Notice that we're not really doing anything. Let's watch what we're doing. What are we doing after we push? Take a look.
You are.
What's different from what you're doing?
You're not going in an aggressive. You're not going into fog.
Yeah, we're not running it. We're not trying to like fight them or anything crazy, right? Because it doesn't make sense, right? Yeah. Or we're not trying to hit tower either, right? Because they can stop us. So what are we doing here? We're camping. Maybe they're gonna make a mistake in face check, but what happens when it doesn't work? You go back and push.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same thing. This is what you want to do always, because it always works. All right. And then okay, if fight breaks out, sure. What do you notice about what I'm doing right now?
You're waiting until Ari uses E.
This could be any champion though, right?
Yeah.
So it's more like a I'm not helping until I know I can help, right?
Yeah.
I think for you, you were just you're trying to help immediately, but that's not quite right. You want to make sure that you're 100% helping this, right? How do we know we're helping this? Oh, we're killing Shaco, right?
So essentially, it's like I had the right idea by wanting to help, but the execution was poor.
Yes, you want to make sure it's clean. Like logically speaking, you're always winning. So logically speaking, oh, we're always killing Shaco every time, right? So we're always able to help, right? And then can we help more? Probably not. Let's push, right? If you when in doubt, you just go back to pushing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This guy's going crazy. Oh, this does not look good.
Casa didn't die here. Oh, that.
I definitely could have died here. That was really
I
bad.
was gonna say you were a bit too close too.
Right. So I was making the same mistake you're doing, right? I'm trying to help this guy, but it's not clear that we can help this. Definitely not clear. So we should not be here, right? Whatever. Fast forward. Same thing. Pushing, right? Pushing and clearing. You know, this is the example of what happens when you can't push. You let them push first.
Yeah.
Right.
What happens to me a lot is if I try to help someone who has a lot of mobility and my champion doesn't, most of the time they're just gonna like dash away from me. Then the enemies just focus me. I'm like, oh, okay.
All right. That's definitely not good. All right.
Yeah. I've been trying to learn from that though and not do that. It's like, oh, if like for instance in that situation, the reason I brought that up is because it's a Kassadin. He has an easier time getting away than you do.
Right.
So that's what made me think of that. Oh, that doesn't look fun.
But still okay, right?
Yeah.
Should still be fine. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Should be okay. Okay, it's not that great, but no, what's the mistake? We try to help, right?
Yeah.
Did not make sense, right? Don't help until you know you can help, right? I would say we actually got baited here. Our guy has a really good bait here. It looks like it's 3v1, but they're all here, right? So what should we do? Oh, we should have pushed mid. So same mistake, but sometimes it happens, okay? But first thing we do is what?
Push.
Right. First thing we do is push, right? Who can stop me? Let's see. Let's look at the scoreboard, right? Oh, Shaco Lucian. So what are we ready for? Shaco and Lucian. So Shaco comes out, auto attack ulti. So that's our plan. That's how you know if you can push or not. Is if they come for you, what are you gonna do, right? And then base and then run mid.
So you can get away.
Well, actually, yeah. Look here. This is exactly what I do, right? Yeah. 1 HP. Seems good. That was pretty close. That was probably too close for comfort. We would probably say this is a mistake, right?
I think it's because you were looking up there and you didn't.
Right, we took an extra hit or something like that. But we had the right idea. It's just actually maybe we didn't have the right idea. We should not have been out there until we knew for sure, right? Yeah. It's all about consistency. And then let's say we were pushing mid, right? We're literally doing nothing besides pushing and clearing waves. You see? And we're not really trying to start anything unless we know it's good. Why do we know it's not good? It's because we don't have items yet, right? So, oh, how do we know this is winning?
Because Quinn's there. Although, where's Shaco?
Right, not sure where Shaco is. So it seems like this should be poor, right? So why is it not? How fast can you kill him?
We can kill him pretty fast, especially because it's a Quinn Kaisa. Do you have your Rage Blade stacked up? Oh no, you don't have your Rage Blade stacked up.
We can basically insta kill him and leave before Shaco gets here. Is the idea, right? But this is also a calculated risk, I would say, because Shaco could have definitely been here. But I knew this Quinn was going no matter what, so that's kind of awkward. Definitely should have saved my W as well. Sure, some kind of misplay. Okay, what about this picture? Should you run?
I think yes, you should, because you had the TP coming in.
If you don't know you're winning, you definitely should run, right? If you don't know you're winning, you play like you're losing. So I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not helping that guy. He's either got it or he doesn't.
Okay, he got it, but he dies for it, and then more.
That's fine. Everyone run until you can help.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, maybe we can help this now, right? It's 2v1.
Yeah, and he's pretty low. There it is. Hell yeah. So
fast forward.
Thing that I was thinking about when you asked if it looked good or not, it was Shaco and the TP was coming in from Urga, but Morgana was on the way, so I was like, maybe it could work, but you would have to play it slow.
When in doubt, you pretend you're losing, right? When in doubt, like if you don't know you're winning, you're losing, right? And then when you're winning, you go full, you just run straight in, right? When we kill this Urgot, we know we're winning at this point, right? So that's how we go straight in.
You have to play slow.
Right, exactly. You don't play like you're winning until you're actually winning, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what's going on here. Okay. Sure, we're gonna go clear Baron and stuff after we push mid. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, that was trolled by me, I would say. First thing we do is push, right? Yeah. This is the strategy. This is what you need to do every time. Like, look at the CS right now. Why is it not? Why is it not perfect? What do you think?
Is it because of the death?
Yeah, we die once, so that's why we're missing some CS, right? That's actually pretty much the main reason. So otherwise, add 10 CS to the score. We'll say it's quite good, right?
Yeah.
That's the idea. That's how you do it. And then, okay, what's going on here? Oh, this is interesting. Why do you think I ulti this? At this picture.
Because Ari's top, Urgot's mid, Lucian's dead, so it would probably be a 3 or 4v2 or 3.
Wait. How many people do I have on my team?
You have 5.
How many people do they have?
They have 4 right now.
Right. That's it. You stop there. It's just 5v4. Right.
Okay.
And the fast way I do it is, where's my team? Are they anywhere else on the map?
No,
So that's no. So that's 5. Right. And then how about their team? I can't see shit. That's 5. Or minus whoever's dead. So 5v4. This is automatically winning. We're going in, right? So you play like a monkey and you win, right? So you can watch this if you want, but basically this is always gonna be winning, right? We'll consider this a win. We can bear now, right?
Yeah.
So, but here we're trying to go for broke. I think it's fine. I tried a big combo, but whatever. But now we can go to Baron is the idea. So let's see what's going on. Fast forward. Ooh, let's watch this actually. Apparently I die here. Oh, this is actually really important. Let's talk about this. This is what you're doing.
Was my positioning? Oh, when I do stuff like this, is that bad positioning?
Right. You're trying to hit someone when you're not safe. Right. So when you watched me fight all the other times, you would say it's impossible for me to die. Right.
Yeah.
How about this? Is it possible for me to die here?
Yeah. Get comboed by.
Right. Exactly. Right. I was like, oh, what is he gonna do? Not combo you? I don't know. Right. That's like the obvious thing that's gonna happen. So of course you're dying. So what should you do? Definitely don't try and finish this Ari off.
So you just like back up or kite back to your team against their god?
No, I'll go up this way. We're going to this place where we know is safe. So if we go this way, it looks kind of dicey, I would say, right? Yeah. I mean, maybe you could try it, but we're getting comboed by Ali or Urgot flipping. I don't know. Does not look great. So here we try to finish someone off. So that was a big mistake, I would say.
Okay, so basically we should have been positioned like the Quinn right there.
Here? Yeah. Running away. Essentially, until you know you're winning, you play like you're losing, right? It's the same idea. How do you know you're winning this? I thought I was finishing this guy off. I got tricked, right? So, yeah. Or I guess I tricked myself in a way. Too greedy. But yeah, you can't hit someone until you know you're safe. I mean, like, look at the fallout, right? We lost inhibitor. That's how important it is. Like, this is the same idea as or similar results you got when you made some kind of like 4v5 play that didn't work, and then you guys like lost all the lanes, right? This is kind of the thing you want to prevent. So that, like, when from my mindset is the instant you do something like that, you've lost the game, and now you're just playing to try and get better, essentially, right? Like, yeah. Like when I talk about do I deserve to win this or not, it's based on did I throw the game or not, right? So I threw twice, I would say. So definitely don't deserve to win, but let's see what happens. Sure. Oh, that's Monka S. Maybe we can do something here.
You, so I think that looks good.
Mm-hmm. And then, so why do we win this 9 times out of 10?
They took a lot of hits from Baron. And their health bars were low.
Right, they're just randomly doing Baron, right? Seems good. They don't really have a reason why this works. I don't think they have a reason why this works, right? It's just 5v5, they're dying to Baron. Fast forward, what's going on here? It's all about clearing and pushing minions, right?
Yeah.
So if there's anything to take away, it's these 2 things. Push and clear minions, and when you make a decision, make sure they can't stop you. I think those are the 2 biggest things you want to look at, right?
Yeah.
And how do you know if they can stop you? You press tab and you say, all the missing people are coming right now. Right?
Yeah. So that's it. It's funny because I would have never known that actually my CS is sometimes good but sometimes bad for that exact reason. But I never knew it was such a big mistake until now, because people in Plat, I'll still be up in CS to them. It's really weird.
Right. It's like, oh, you don't know you're doing something wrong until kind of shown that, I guess, right? Or someone has to do it to you for you to realize it. Like, for example, how did I figure this out? Whenever I played against an LCS player, they would always have 100 CS on me by the end of the game, and I was like, I don't know why, right? So I'd have to watch the replays and try and figure out what's going on. And this is exactly what's going on, right? Do you watch professional play at all?
Yes,
Do you
all the
see
time.
Uzi getting like fucking 300 CS at 20 minutes?
Yeah, his team
Right.
plays really well around him too.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Picking up every wave and also jungle camps. So that's like the base idea. But yeah, I would say recap again. It's all about repetition, right? Building good habits. Like this is what you need to do to improve your gameplay. Is make sure you're focusing on this wave management idea. I think that'll help you a lot in terms of stopping you from doing something inconsistent. And also, before you do something, make sure you count numbers and say who can stop me. Okay, and that'll also help increase your consistency because right now I think it's just like all over the place in terms of gameplay, right?
Yeah.
Like when I was watching this, it was more like I knew you were gonna lose before it happened, and I knew you were gonna win before it happened. That's what you want to build, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. My I don't think we're gonna have time to go over it, but my Varus game is funny because I think I was like 2-1 in the lane. Then I just get like raffle stomped for like
no.
5 to 10 minutes. 2-5, and then I come back into the game again. It's actually that game I went 5-8-8.
I mean, we can breeze through it real quick and see what we can find. But it's most definitely because of the I would say it's all because of the things we talked about already, right?
Yeah.
See, fast forward to the mid game.
Two
See
and
what's going on
5.
here. Okay, push this out. Sure. We aren't mid. Why?
Because there's nothing for me to get there.
But if you stay bot, they're pushing into you, right? So remember, it's all about clearing and pushing minions. So by the time you go mid, you gotta go back bot. Otherwise, you're losing minions, right? Like, as we're seeing right now, right? All about pushing and clearing minions. I promise you, right? So this is the see. This is this is the thing, right? This is the thing. This is good. It's like the same. We're seeing the same thing because it is the same thing, right? That's what I'm saying. That's why I said focus on minions is because I think if you have this focus, it'll stop you from doing this. It'll help stop you from doing this, right? So yeah, we're just losing minions bot right now, right? So that's kind of awkward. Like, look at the CS difference. It's because of that. Oh my god, they got tower too. Why'd you win this? What do you think?
Because Alistar, me, and Jax had a good CC chain.
More general than that.
She was by herself. I mean, Nami was back there, but she got caught out.
It's more general than that.
She overextended.
How many people are here?
We have the numbers.
That's it. You just stop there. It's 3v2. So it doesn't matter what happens. You're winning this, right? That's all you needed. That's the first thing you should think about always. Is did we win or lose? Numbers is the first thing you think about, right? Okay, this is not good unless LeBlanc gets here in time.
Yeah, I didn't want to walk up too far on that because
Right, that's good. Because it doesn't look good, right?
Yeah. So I was
Right.
just trying to play it slow. See this guy get
surprise. Well, I think LeBlanc's here, so that's why it's not the end of the world. It's because you have more people, right? Now you're gonna kill everyone. So, maybe not.
Yeah, she backs off after that, and Garen's pushing top on inhib, so we had the back.
Sure, this dragon. Sure. Go bot. Yes, very good. Push this out. Then you can do something else if you want. Okay, base is great. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. All about wave management.
It's weird because sometimes I'm good with it, other times I'm not. So it's like super inconsistent.
Right. You need it's because you're not prioritizing it. It's your first priority. Okay. Like in this example, you don't go mid unless you know there's a fight breaking out right now. Right. You want to stay top so you can push this out. Right. And maybe prevent this guy from getting the inhib. Do you have ulti? You can maybe kill him.
I think I waited on ulti.
Right.
Yeah,
so you can kill him. Right. That's fair. Oh, what the heck? Sure. Whatever. You got the job done. I think it's fine.
I think I flashed because I wanted to close the distance on him, which was pretty bad. I didn't know when Ollie would have his stuff back up.
Where should you go in this picture?
Should I stay top?
Yes. Why?
Because the wave, I can push it more and maybe get some damage on the turret. Although I think by the time I get near their turret, it's gonna be risky.
You never do tower damage. You only do tower damage when they're all dead. Okay.
So,
You want to push it out.
push it
That's
past
it.
the river, right?
Yes. Past the midpoint. Okay. That's the ideal. If you can't because you're dying, that's fine. But here, who can stop you in this picture? All right, no one can stop you. That's how we know. That's how we know. You just go top. You just go top. Okay. Because a lot of weird things are happening because of that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. Fast forward. You're hitting tower. I hope they're all dead. Oh man. Tristan is still alive. Okay, whatever. Base, go top. Sure. Ah, same thing here, right? Why do we go top and not mid?
Because the wave is already at our tower, and I think either Jax or LeBlanc is going to rotate mid.
Yes, someone else is getting it. So you go top because someone else is not going top. So yeah, we just need to go top. That's the problem here. You just need to push out your waves, okay? And you don't want to share it if possible. I mean, I guess no one else is mid, so I think this is fine. But fast forward. Oh, what the heck? Where are we going here? What's the problem with this picture?
They are going to, what is it? Velka. So Nami just bubbled.
No. More general. It's always gonna. Whenever it's like we look at a situation, it's never mechanics unless it's like a 5-man bubble, right?
Is it numbers?
Okay, numbers is one. Although Garen's in base for some reason, right? They have more numbers for sure. And did we focus on our wave management?
No.
All right, we need to push mid. You need to push mid first. Okay, always. So how do we recognize that? The next wave is coming in right now. You can look at your minions to see when it's coming, right? We need to go back mid here instead of top, right? Is the problem. You need to go mid here.
I think knowing to push past river helps a lot because I was always told like don't push past river because it's risky.
Right. So you ask yourself, can they stop me? If they cannot, you do it. Right. Oftentimes you will be able to do it, but sure, sometimes you can't. Like let's say they have a 10-0 Warwick and you're dying if you do that. Okay, don't do it. Right. But most of the time you are able to. I promise you. Right. In this game alone, we saw like a lot of instances where we can. Right.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, we killed someone. This is a free Baron.
We killed Tristan and
baby.
Belka.
All right, fast forward, go top, Monka S. Okay, but going bot 2 here is fine too, because you need to push bot 2, so I think that's fine. But definitely, this idea will help prevent you from doing strange things. I promise you. I promise.
Okay, cool. I hope I'm pretty sure that's gonna help me climb, because I want to get to diamond this season at least.
Sounds good. As long as you're making it a habit, it'll help make you a better player. And the idea is being a better player will help you get a higher rank, right? So yeah. I promise you this will help your consistency from what we saw all 3 games. So any last questions before we call it?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, cool. I will upload this to YouTube, send you the link. And if you do have any other questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Sound good?
All right, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
No problem. Yeah, good luck in your games. Let me know how things go. Let me know how it's working out for you. So
for sure, man. Thank you. Good luck in your games too, and have a great day.
You too.
All right, see you.